Bannerlord's never been short on ambition, but after years on dry land, we're finally going to go to sea. Warsails is the game's first major expansion, introducing naval warfare, ship customization, and a new Viking-inspired faction on the northern frontier. In this video, I'll take you through what Warsails is going to add to Bannerlord, why it's got some genuinely promising ideas, and why, despite it all, the modding scene will still feel like the heart of this game. Welcome to LT Gaming, my name is Tom, and around here we do thoughtful previews, deep dives, and indie discoveries, all with a focus on strategy, immersion, and mechanical depth of games. If this sounds like your kind of thing, do give the video a like and consider subscribing. It really helps us keep this going, and we'd love to have you along for the ride. Right then, let's take a look at what we can actually expect from the Warsails DLC. So, what's actually in this DLC? Warsails is going to add a fully integrated naval layer into Bannerlord sandbox. We're talking 18 unique ship types, each with distinct handling, crew setups, and upgrade paths. Now, you're also going to be able to build and manage fleets, either for trade or war, and take them out across open seas, rivers, and coastlines. Yes, actual naval combat is in, with ramming, multi-point boarding, siege weapons on deck, and even wind mechanics affecting how your ships will maneuver. The familiar map itself is going to be expanded to the north, introducing the Northern Kingdom, home to the Nords, a new faction clearly drawing inspiration from Viking culture. Their lands are rough, mountainous, and riddled with fjords. Think long ships, war paint, heavy axes, and a very different way of waging war. With this all will also be ship customization, rams, sails, ballistae, and then towns with shipyards that will now build and stock vessels based upon their culture and development level. And if you're worried it's all going to just be for show, naval combat will use a full physics model, so positioning, weather, and timing will actually matter. You'll have to deal with storms, reefs, and even pirates if you stray off course. Throw on top of this, we'll also have a cinematic quest line designed to ease players into the naval mechanics, offering a bit of story and progression when you explore Calradia's new frontier. So it's all shaping up to be surprisingly deep, at least from the surface level. But with Bannerlord, we have been here before. Big ideas, but patchy or poor execution. So let's talk about how it actually might play out. I've spent hundreds of hours in Bannerlord, both modded and unmodded, and if I'm honest, I can only play it with mods now. That, I think, is saying quite a lot about the game in itself. After nearly a decade of anticipation, Bannerlord arrived with enormous expectations, and to be honest, it buckled under the weight of them in more ways than one. Don't get me wrong, the foundations are there. Raise a warband, fight, trade, siege, manage thieves. On paper, it's warband but bigger. Sure, the visuals are sharper, the map's more detailed, and there's a sense of scale that warband never quite achieved. But the more you play it, the more it feels like a glorified early access version of its predecessor than a true sequel. It launched in a rough state, full of bugs, poor performance, and missing systems. And while it's been patched since, the core issues still linger. Combat can be great, but the AI is very erratic. Lords wander aimlessly, sieges break and feel monotonous after a while, pathfinding's hit and miss, the campaign map looks alive but it doesn't always feel alive. And one of my biggest gripes is diplomacy still feels bare bones. Kingdom management as well, it feels oddly hands off. Character progression, which was once one of Warband's most satisfying hooks, now feels quite diluted. Don't get me wrong, there's a world of potential here, but it often feels like a hollow sandbox full of repetitive tasks with very little narrative or strategic weight. And yet, the community never gave up on it. And mods are what truly keep Bannerlord alive. From better diplomacy and deeper roleplay to full conversions and custom campaigns, the modding scene has done more to deliver Bannerlord's promise than the base game ever has. At its best, Bannerlord still captures that Mountain Blade magic. The feeling of rising up from nothing to command legions, that power fantasy is real, and I do love this game, I really do. But after all these years, it still feels like an early access title masquerading as a finished product. For long-time fans, it's a reminder that ambition without execution usually leads to disappointment. But here's the thing guys, despite all of that, I keep coming back to Bannerlord. But that is almost entirely thanks to the modding community. They've done what Tale Worlds couldn't or wouldn't. From reintroducing meaningful diplomacy to overhauling progression, adding depth to settlements, or transforming the game into Westeros or Warhammer Old World, the creativity on display is staggering. Mods like Banner Kings add political intrigue and proper kingdom mechanics. Diplomacy mod restores essential features that frankly should have been there from day one. Serve as a soldier lets you live a soldier's life in someone else's army. And the total conversion mods, honestly, they're more stable and better balanced than the vanilla game. It's no exaggeration to say that mods has salvaged Bannerlord and in many ways fulfilled the promise of the sequel that we imagined back in 2012. The community has never stopped building, never stopped believing in what the game could be, and that passion, not the patches of Tale Worlds, is what has kept Bannerlord afloat. So, it brings us to the question, should you care about war sales? Well, I think that depends on what you're looking for. If the naval systems land, if the AI holds up, if the combat feels weighty and the campaign actually accounts for fleets, this could be a brilliant turning point for Bannerlord. It is bold, it's ambitious, and it could be exactly what the game needs to breathe new life into its sandbox. But if it launches buggy, shallow, or disconnected from the rest of the campaign, then it's going to risk becoming another half-formed idea that modders will need to come to the rescue on. And honestly, that's been the story of Bannerlord since the start. A game full of potential, held together by a passionate community that refuses to let it sink. War Sales has promise, and as cautious as I am, I'm still quietly hopeful. Thanks for watching guys, I really hope you've enjoyed this look at War Sales and my take on Bannerlord. Give it a like and consider subscribing for more deep dives and strategy previews. No fluff, just good honest games talk. Let me know in the comments, are you setting sail day one on this, or are you going to wait for the storm to pass? And what mods are keeping Bannerlord alive for you? Until next time LT gamers, bye bye now.